the lawyer can actually save you a ton of money. And one of the things that we do proactively that can save our clients thousands of dollars is we register their trademarks, and we do it for them very early in their business life. And so I'm not going to use this video time to explain to you that bad things will happen to you if you don't register your trademarks immediately. But I do want to explain to you one of the potential costs associated with waiting. We often find that one of the biggest reasons why new business owners, and I'm talking about the businesses that are started up as maybe a side hustle or, a freelance gig, it's starting out really as a sole proprietor, one person often providing a service in exchange for money. And if they are doing it under a name that is something other than their own personal name, well, that is a trademark that they're using. And usually the last thing they are thinking about spending money on is a trademark registration. They certainly go ahead and they register their business name with the provincial authority, because in most Canadian provinces, when you are operating a business in a name other than your own, you are required to register your business name, and it basically acts as a directory listing so that the public knows, has a place where they can go and find out who are the individuals behind any given business name. But most new business owners don't realize that if that business name, actually the business name registration doesn't give you any ownership rights. If you want to own that business name and own it all across Canada, you need to file a Canadian trademark application for the name, claiming the goods and services that you are planning to sell. So most new businesses are not entirely aware of that distinction between a business name registration and a Canadian trademark registration. And so they don't think about spending the money on a Canadian trademark registration when they're launching their new business. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to kind of set out one of the potential costs of waiting until your business starts to really take off and grow, and your name becomes known and people start to tell you, wow, you have a really great name. Have you trademarked that? So when you wait to file your trademark application, basically you are in the position of using an unregistered trademark, and your rights to that trademark really only exist where you have sold. So if you are starting a landscaping company, for example, here in Ottawa, you start advertising your services. Maybe you've created some flyers, you've created a Facebook page, or even a website. You've invested in a website and you have customers local to Ottawa. Well, your ability to stop other people from using your business name really is limited to Ottawa. If you want the ability to own your name all across Canada, like I said, you would file a trademark application, and that gives you national rights of ownership and the ability to stop people from starting a business under your name in any province. If you don't take the steps to do that, and somebody else comes along and starts a landscaping business in another city or another province, and they take the steps to file a trademark application, well, they have gotten onto the trademarks register before you. And so the trademarks office will actually grant them a trademark registration unless you oppose their application and prove that you are using the name first. So that is one of the costs. When it comes time to you actually get your act together and you file a trademark application and you realize that somebody else got there first, you have to not only have you spent the money to file your own trademark application, but now you have to incur the costs of opposing their trademark application so that it does not go through to registration. Oppositions, they cost money. The government fee alone is $750, and it's a legal proceeding. It's something that you would want to hire a lawyer to help for you, to guide you through the process, because you'd have to draft your grounds of opposition. You would have to substantiate it with evidence and written arguments, oral arguments. It's a long procedure that takes a couple of years and several $1,000s if you're hiring somebody to help you through the process. So when the initial cost of just filing a trademark application would be, if you use Markably, for example, it's $495 plus the government fees for landscaping services. That's one class. So less than $1,000 for filing a trademark application. You are now looking at several $1,000s if somebody happened to file an application before you and you have to oppose them. But if you've missed the opposition window for their trademark application and they actually go through to registration, they now have national rights of ownership in the name. And if you want to get their trademark registration taken off the register so that your mark can go through, or that you are actually recognized as the owner of this name in Canada, as the correct owner of the name in Canada, you would have to file an application with the Federal Court of Canada in order to get their registration off of the register. And I mean, if you were daunted by the several $1,000s for a trademark opposition, I can tell you it's going to cost you several times more than that in order to file an application with the federal court. In addition to that, you want to be making a claim against this company who has been using your name and has actually gotten a trademark registration for it. And the first step in doing that is going to be a cease and desist letter, and you would want it to be pretty meaty and to show that you were actually using it first and you were the correct owner. Now, whether they're going to change their name or you're going to end up having to negotiate something with them, that's a whole other thing, but you are looking at that point at substantial legal fees in order to establish your right of ownership over this name. And this is, I mean, these costs just keep adding up and up and up. Ultimately, what happens in many, many cases is that even though you use the name first, you end up realizing that just rebranding is significantly cheaper than trying to claim your ownership of the name, when all you had to do at the very beginning, when you filed your business name registration with, the province of Ontario, at the same time file your Canadian trademark application to get your rights on the register first, so that your application can go through and you can be recognized as the correct owner of this name throughout Canada. So that is not my doom and gloom story about bad things will happen if you don't apply to register your trademarks early. But those are some of the costs that you could be faced with by waiting until your business takes off in order to take that extra small step to file a trademark application at the same time as when you filed your business name registration. If you would like some help in getting a trademark application on file as quickly as possible, you can visit us at markably.ca or at masonpc.com. We offer a free consult through either of those websites, and we are happy to walk you through where you are in your naming journey and how we can help you to actually claim ownership of your name throughout Canada.